There we go. Let's see. Sorry about the arm. I'm getting there, guys. I'm just sharing everything and letting people hop in because I just shared the link. And I'm probably going to annoy some of you guys because I do have to cut out a couple things. And we'll let some people get in here. The good thing about this is you'll be able to re-watch it later. If you can't stay, you gotta go, whatever the case be. And the good thing about rewatching later is you can fast forward. Hi, Kim. All right, I wanted to show you guys a couple things. And reason being is because this is the same color I used on Franklin. All I did was change my edge around the inks. Let's make sure. I did the video for him because somebody was struggling with all the pieces. And it's still uploading. I don't know what's going on with YouTube, and that's fine. All right. We're going to use just a basic circle. I was helping somebody, and it just took a little longer than I thought, which is fine. All right. Let's cut out, we'll do maybe that many. No, I'm just kidding. That's way too many. All right. Let me grab paper. So if you guys have issues with files or need help, let me know. I don't mind doing them. That is how I ended up doing this little guy yesterday, last night. And I actually messed up on him, and I made the mistake of using this without holding it upside down. And it burped all over his eyes. You should wait until the video uploads. So I showed if your piece is together and you end up messing up, I show in the video how to, I ripped his head off, and that was the only thing I replaced since that was the only part that I ended up screwing up. And it was fine. Everything's fixable with paper piecing. It's just going to cut out 4 circles. But this here is just baby yarn. It's almost like baker's twine, but I did that instead of the piece of paper that came with it. And the details on his nose, I'm going to show in the video. It's included. It's almost done. You're going to want to get these. It's almost done. There we go. So these are General's Pastel Chalks. My mom got these for me, and I have a couple packs of them. They're chalking pencils. They come, I think I have the 36 or the 48 pack. And I'm going to show you guys how these look. We've had wind and rain here for days. So I might have to take a couple of drinks. I just took allergy medicine. Some days are worse than others, though. Oh, that's funny. Okay, sorry about that. Somebody's telling me to watch They Cloned Tyrone on Netflix. It's from Jamie Foxx. By Jamie Foxx. I don't know. A lot of conspiracy theories. Hi, everybody. Yeah, so one of the girls messaged me about the snowman. He is from Snowman S'mores Valentine's. from Marjorie Ann Designs. It's still uploading because I did the voiceover, I did all my editing, and sometimes if I get sidetracked or I start just mumbling about things that I really don't need to say, which sometimes I let my feelings speak, I end up doing voiceovers. And we have nothing but time now, so there's a few of you guys here. I can't post it on Facebook because then you end up with scammers that have like these auto apps that look for keywords. My husband is gone for 6 to 12 weeks right now. I have just me and my thoughts, which is, I have not been in this position in years. And I actually had a breakdown with him because I don't know how many of you guys know. I was married before when I was very young. And my ex-husband is a doctor. He would travel all around the world and I would be home alone. Well, when my marriage failed because I was home alone, I was still growing up because I was very young. He was 11 years my senior. That's the first thought that went through my mind with my husband being gone. Was, is this going to be a repeat? And, you know, my husband's like, no, you're a lot older now. Don't worry about it. We're fine. And he's like, it's only going to fail if we let it fail, but we're not failing. So I'm not really knowing how to adjust to being alone. And that's the worst thing is you have to kind of learn how to be in your own feelings. And I haven't figured that part out yet. So what I wanted to show you guys, these are all the same color paper. Excuse me. We'll use Crunchy Leaf first. I love this color. It's a softer tone for your browns. And I'll check YouTube again. I might have to just go in and re-upload him the file one more time, or the video, to get Little Mr. Snowman uploaded. And Ranger has inks that you can actually make your own colors, and I took a couple of his reds and mixed them together, and so this is very, very dark red. That's what that was from, but I was using it on my little snowman. So depending on what color you have of ink, it's going to change the color that your paper appears to be from. And I get asked a lot by you guys if I'm changing the color for Franklin, and I'm not. What I'm doing is I'm actually just changing the ink. I did do the Benny and Belinda file, but I did change the color of paper on her, and I wasn't happy with it. This one dries a lot lighter, and it gives a softer effect, and I need a new dauber. It's making little messy marks. But that's fine because I just want to show when they're dry what the difference is. All right, let me grab my other brown. I have everything in drawers next to me, and I didn't pull everything out because I was helping somebody, and it took a lot longer than I thought, which is fine. I just didn't get all the files and everything I wanted cut out because I'm really liking the new Franny file that came out. She's adorable. All right, so we are going to use one of the bigger browns, and this one is Vintage Photo. And you'll see the difference with the depth and the darkness when you just change your edging. Let me close this one here. I don't want to stick my arm in it, really. But nope, we have nothing but time now with hubby being gone. I can do lives. I don't have to be in the kitchen. The problem for me doing lives during normal business hours was my husband's off time, and he's only gone this long period of time for training. My husband would get home between 12 and 1:30 and want to eat because he was having to get back up at 2 o'clock the next morning to go back to work. So it was one of those that no matter what I did, it was just, I'd have to stop what I was doing and cook. And not have to, that sounds horrible. I'd want to because, you know, I love to cook. I don't know about you, how many of you guys know that. Now this is going to be peanut brittle. This is the color that I used on this. And the only reason I'm doing this is so when they dry, you can see the difference. I don't know what's on that. It's just an issue in the paper. But when I have graham crackers, because there is a Franklin file with s'mores as well, and they're just so cute, or tree branches. All I do is I change the ink that goes around the edges, and it will change the appearance of how dark or light your brown is, because these 4 are all from the same piece of cardstock. They're not dry yet, so I'll pop them back up, but this is going to dry lighter once it dries. This is the crunchy leaf, and then this one is going to be the vintage photo, and this is the memento peanut brittle. But depending, even with your peaches, I don't know how many of you guys got the peach paper from the link that I shared. They did get peach paper back into 12 by 12 cardstock shop. I got asked about my inks, and I probably should be cutting Belinda out, but I'll get to her. So for peach, let me dig it out. I have been using Lawn Fawn. Catherine Pooler you can still use if you went on the craze to buy it. Just go a couple shades darker to account for any fading. But then again, remember that your edges are always going to look different. So this is the color that I use around my peach if you want to screenshot it or write it down. Oh, I have a weird, funny little black thing blinking in my eye, and I don't know what it is. But this is the color that I use for my skin tone, and it's what I go around the peach paper with. And the other thing I was asked about is my buttons. These things are tiny. These are 3 millimeters. They are super tiny, and this is what I use on my clothes because I got asked about the sizes that you guys were ordering, and don't do the 4 millimeter. They're bigger. Let me grab my little container up here and I'll show you the size difference in a 4 millimeter. These jars I got from Hobby Lobby. They're in my dream box. They all have different shaped buttons, but I'm going to show you the difference with a 4 millimeter button. And this is a 4. Let me pull it out. I have so many. So these are the 3 versus the 4 or 5, sorry. They say 4 to 5, and I dropped one. I just don't want my dog to get it. But it's quite a huge difference. So when you guys get it, just keep in mind you want the 3 millimeter if you're going to use them, because they're what I use on the little boy. And sometimes I do use the bigger one, because if it's a bigger piece, you're not going to want a tiny little button that's going to disappear into his overalls. They have tons of different shaped jars. I love my jars. But as these are drying, this is going to be the vintage photo. That is the crunchy leaf. And then this is going to be your memento. But just changing the ink around your edges is going to make the biggest difference for you guys with your pieces. Because that's where a lot of them, you guys are saying they don't look right. They do. It's just sometimes the ink choice, you got to change it. Go lighter. And that'll lighten it if you want a lighter look. And for boys, you might want to use the darker one instead of the lighter one. Now, here comes the fun part. I've already done some of them because I want to do get some Belinda together. That new file, I don't know if you guys have seen it with, not Belinda, what is her name? You don't think you're watching live? Oh, you're welcome. It's not a problem at all. I know that I got a lot of messages about files that you guys are struggling with. And I feel bad. I'm doing them just one by one. It's just for some reason, YouTube is a little bit longer than normal on uploading. But here's the new ones. She is so cute. Let me get rid of the glare. And then we got little Franklin down there, of course. I love Franklin and Franny. They're just so cute. And I like Belinda and Benny. So I told you guys in the last live that if you find a stance that you guys like, a position of the bear or the child that you're using, you can save him in your design space and cut out multiples of him or her, and that'll be just your go-to, and cut them out while you're inking. You don't necessarily have to, you know, cut one out, wait, cut the next one out. I cut out hundreds while I'm inking because of the fact of, if I know it's a file that I'm going to use continuously, I want to get as many of them out of the way. Now, another trick, I know, I love it, Karen, and I didn't see it until late yesterday. Also, all of her calendar pieces are coming out, because I know one of you guys asked if you guys are getting all of them. She does have, let's turn that off, and this one. All right, in my video, and I also show, yeah, my vision is really bad. I have, my ring lights have magnifying glasses on them. But that way it helps me with my smaller pieces when my vision wants to act special. I am almost as blind as a bat. And I showed my glasses in the video yesterday. So not having glasses for me, it just, my eyes, they've been horrible since I've been young. But she's slowly getting all of the months done because somebody did ask. She got all the way to August. I don't know what September through October is going to be yet, but I'm excited and can't wait. As you guys know, I did a gazillion of them. I actually bought this file. I don't know why I like her hair. So I'm not doing the drama queen part. I'm just going to do her like a dress up. Hi, Erica. But you're going to have January, February, and then March is here. I'm going to do him, but I'm not cutting out the flag. I don't know. I just want him with his little clovers and his hat. And I have gold paper that I'm going to use for him. And the other thing is, for my gold, I may use my my foil. And I showed you guys that. Alkaline issues. We have a lot of health issues alike, but we push through. Yeah, I do. I've had lupus since it didn't actually get diagnosed until after I had my daughter. I started getting these weird rashes on my body. They just randomly started after I delivered Brianna. And I thought maybe it was because of how horrible the delivery was, and the doctor left placenta in there, which, oh yeah, I became septic. I almost died. I only had 19 blood transfusions. It was great. And we thought maybe I was having just a reaction to all the blood, and they sent me to some immunologist and allergist. I mean, I've seen so many doctors after I had my baby. It was ridiculous. And nope, I ended up having all the markers positive for lupus, and it just randomly came out of nowhere. But I've always worked and managed, you know, during my flare-ups. So, and that's the best. And I think that's why I do so much scrapbooking, is it keeps my peace of mind. Because there are people, a lot of you guys have something health-wise with you, whether it's diabetes, high blood pressure, incontinence issues, you sneeze, cough, and you end up having to wear a pad or a diaper. There's always, and then as you get older, there's more issues that go on with you. And there are some people that will play, thank you, Luce. There are some people that'll play that to the hills and be like, oh yes, I have so many things wrong with me. And other people are just like, meh. And me, I try not to think about it. When I have a flare up, yes, Karen, yes, and you know about getting your flare-ups under control. That's the worst part. And that's why I don't stress over all the stuff when all that drama was happening, is because then I end up in the hospital. And that was one of my fears when my husband left, was I didn't want to end up in the hospital because I was stressing myself out. And lupus, the higher your stress level, for some reason, it suppresses your immune system on the steroids even more, and you end up not in a good place. And I have the skin rash, and it attacks my joints. Some people have, because there's SLE, which is systemic lupus erythematosus, and then you have discoid lupus erythematosus. There's different lupuses. And I have the one that goes after my joints and my skin, and other people have ones that go after their organs. You will find a lot of lupus patients that need, Selena Gomez needs kidney transplants. And the moon face is really common in that one because of the kidneys. But no, I try to manage it the best I can. And that's why as I've gotten older, I've had to learn which battles I want to fight. Some are worth it, some aren't. And so I did fray away from the pink inner ears. Oh no, I hope those steroids, I hope that, you know, you can get it under control. That stuff is not a joke. I do my eyes. That was what I was worried about with my husband leaving all those weeks. I do my eyes in advance. I count out how many bears I have or how many kids I have, and I do the eyes. Because my eyes are layered and they are a pain in the rear end. And sometimes I don't even want to mess with them, but I do just because I don't want to change anything I've done. So back to these pencils. Do I have a Q-tip up here? Or did I? Yes. So I just wanted to get him out. That way I don't know what I'm doing yet. And what I do is I just do bears in the meantime while I cut out other files, because it doesn't hurt to have Franklin's. So with these chalk pencils, these are how I add all the details to my pants, or like to the carrots, things like that. Let's use a darker color. And you do not push hard with these because it is chalk. The lighter the hand, the better the blend. I'm just going to go darker to lighter so you can see the difference. And all I do is use a Q-tip. You can use really any blending, even a pom-pom. But this is how I soften it out on my pieces with my pants, even my hair. Too bad I already mailed off that file. Otherwise, I would have showed you. The little girl I used it on her hair. And this stuff here, I love these pencils. My mom bought them for me. My mom actually used them to do her chalking instead of ink. She just wasn't comfortable with ink. She sent me, and I was laughing because I thought she had just done the photo she sent me, and it was actually years old. You guys will see where I get it from in a minute, if it updates. There it goes. Oh, I just clicked my mom. There we go. So one of her memories came up and she shared it with me. How do I get it to? No, I don't want that. Where's Messenger? There we go. How do I look at this? How do I make it bigger? That's my question. Well, anyways, that's my mom. My mom did this one. She actually got me into scrapbooking, believe it or not. But my mom did this, and she did it all with the chalk pencils. And I was like, I really like that. It just adds, it allows you to add more definition to your pieces. And those chalk pencils will come in handy. You can start with, I believe they have an 8-pack. I use them. I don't have the little girl. I believe they come in an 8-pack. You don't have to go big or go home. The bigger packs, I have the bigger ones, and I have several of them just because I use them. And let me tell you about the sharpeners that they come with. They come with the best sharpeners I've ever seen in my life. I use the sharpeners on everything. I want to see if I can pull up the little girl with the detail in her hair, just to give you guys a better glimpse of how it blends out. Oh yeah, it was in horrible. Here we go. So all of the details, what I did is I used a pencil. Sorry. And I actually went over it with several. I went over it with the yellow and a light brown and then the golden mustard yellow. And the pencils will come in handy. Now the donuts, that is just Nuvo drops. There you go. And I just used different Nuvo drops for the glue, or for the glaze on the donuts. The white is also Nuvo. Do I have it next to me? No. But pink, white, and then this one you can't really tell because it's a horrible picture, but I got asked, it's me taking screenshots of nothing on my tablet. So I did the Franklin candy file a while back. He had the little candies. And I know a lot of you guys asked what I used, and maybe not everybody's seen the comments, which it's pretty easy for me to find. This is what I used. This you can get from anywhere. Amazon, Hobby Lobby is where I got mine. Let me switch my account here. It's hard going from your tablet to your phone to your watch to everything else, because you forget one from the next half the time. All right, let's go scroll down, because it wasn't that long ago that I did it, but there's a lot of girls on the design team, and I love looking at everything they do. And so many of us will do the same pieces, but bring something different to every set, because we all went and did the Dear Santa, and all of them look different on every single one. I was trying to show you guys the little candies because I got asked what I used, and all I did was use glue. How long ago did I do it? And of course I won't be able to find it now, but it's in my photos. I did this little guy. This is the guy that I did. And I used these on his candies if you go look at the file. They're on the top. I sprinkled them, and everybody's like, how did you get them to look like that? And all it is this. And this is just because I do use this for my embossing. I have a couple of these. This gives it the thicker effect, but I embossed it first. I used clear glue on that. Let's see, hold on. I'm trying to zoom in so you can see them. There you go. So what I did is I laid down my ultra thick embossing powder first with my stamp, because there is a stamp to make it attach, and then you have to use a heat tool. And let's go. It's in the drawer. I just have to figure out which one. Here it is. This is the embossing pad, and I got this from Hobby Lobby as well. It's huge. So what you'll want to do is emboss your piece, and there's several ways there are so many embossing options for embossing pads. This is my other go-to. This is a dabber, and it's by Ranger also, so that way you can actually dab the piece on your finger if it's smaller. Let me move my light. There we go. Sorry about that. This is a huge help. And I go between one or the other. It just really depends on what I'm working with. If it's a stamped sentiment, I use this. If it's a piece, I use this. But this is what gets this to stick to it. And then you're going to use a heat gun. And I've done a video on how to get it, how to do it. That way you guys can see it. It is on my YouTube if you scroll through my older videos. But the little cupcake stamp sentiments I did for Benny and Belinda, it's just embossing powder, but I use different colors. They have tons of colors. Well, when I had the candy, I was like, well, I can actually step that up and use the crystals to make it look like sugar. And that's what I used, because I got a lot of you guys asking, but I don't know if everybody was able to see the comment or find it. Excuse me. And Nuvo Drops, this is going to be the biggest one. For glossy accents turns yellow, you guys. I've showed that in a video. Not all the time. And a couple of the girls said that they've had the same issue. And you can actually see the discoloration in the bottle. So I haven't been using this. Hold on, let's see. Can you... It's not clear anymore. And I guess over time it happens. But it dries yellow. And it'll crack. This doesn't do that, but it doesn't go on liquidy. So you have to be careful and do this in layers if you're going to play with it. Put on one very fine, thin layer. You can add more layers. If you do it thicker, but play with it on a piece of scratch paper before you go and put it on your piece. That way you're not having to remake your piece. So I wanted to before I glue him or her together. I don't know what I'm doing yet. When you guys have inks or chalks, make sure you swatch them. These are my Lawn Fawns, and I love Lawn Fawn, but I used a bad marker, so, but I know what they are because I've been doing it forever and ever, but I wanted to show you guys the little bottom. But you guys can just stamp and write on a piece of paper, because then what I did is I used my Cosmic Shimmer Flake and Glitter Glue, and what I do is I put just one dab on the back, and I peel them off and put them in order. That way I can go light to dark or blues. I generally do blue, green, you know, brown, black, whatnot. Now, if any of you guys have questions, this is the time to ask, because I feel bad when you guys leave them in the comments that you're either going to miss it, because sometimes I miss them. I just came across a comment from a year ago of somebody asking for a file, and I felt horrible. And I told her I was sorry, and she's like, it's okay. She ended up messaging me, and I answered it anyways, and I didn't know it, but I saw the comment was unaddressed, and I was like, I'm such a bad person. That's horrible. A whole year I didn't acknowledge her. So this is the other one you're going to want to get. I have all of them, almost. They come out with new colors. So this is Liquid Mercury. If you guys have the fences or the wagons and you don't want to use brads, this is my go-to instead of my metallic pen. And when I mean metallic pen, these are my metallic Sharpies. They have so many different options. I'm looking, hold on. Generally they're right here at my touch, but I guess I relocated them because I don't use them. These are what I was using forever, is these. And I ended up finding this just because I collect Nuvo, and Nuvo is a huge thing. But these silver ones here, this will be your best friend. It gives the dimension like your brads do, but it gives the shininess. But this is what I use on my little wagon that I did, on the wheels of it. I used it for buttons even, because I wanted them silver and I didn't want the little colors. And then there's just, and don't go buying 2 and 3 bottles. A little bit of these go a long way. So that's just what I found out. I made the mistake of buying a bunch, and I've had a couple of them. I just don't open them. But the glue, the glue separates in them. Not the glue. I don't know what it is. Let me pull one out. I want to show you guys. The glitter and whatever it is in it separates. I don't know if you guys can see this, but now what's going to happen is I'm going to have to pull this off, and I've never used this one. That's why the tip is clean. Yeah, I went crazy with Nuvo, and I don't even use them all. So what I'm going to have to do is pull that tip off and put my finger over it and squish it and massage it to get it to mix back together, because it does not shake well to mix. I did this forever, and it still will leave the clear part in there, and then the bottom ends up being chunky, so it's not smooth. You do not want it separated to use it. You want it all smooth and incorporated, because that's what's going to give you the smooth effect when it dries. So just kind of be aware of your bottles if they're not one solid consistency like this. If there is glitter or shimmer, because they have the stone, the shimmer, the glitter, and it'll tell you on the bottle which one it is. If it's not just a solid consistency, but I still shake them because I don't trust them half the time, and I just want to make sure that it's all mixed. But I found that they're separating the longer, so don't go buying extra bottles, because this is what happens when you don't use them regularly, or you just buy the ones you like. And for me, this one works great on my chocolate. I already mailed out the order yesterday. Otherwise, I would show you guys. I was looking. Yeah. So if you go to the post that I did of the little girls, the chocolate, this is what I used. Oh, let me give you the color. Who cares? Cocoa Blush. and it is the Jewel Drops. And the reason I went with this one is because it's a brown, but it's clear. And this is why my cocoa, or my chocolate, I should say. The chocolate and the little girls, if you go look at my Facebook, she has it in a bowl. This is what I use to go over it, and I went over it one more time before I meld it, but I took a picture of the first layer. When I put the second layer on, that's where it smooths it out completely so you can't see the texture of the paper. So if you do bears like me, and yeah, these are dried, but it's just changing. This is the crunchy leaf, it's softer. And then this is going to be the vintage photo, and that is your peanut brittle. But it's all the same color paper, just changing the edges. And the same thing is with your peaches. Catherine Pooler has Bellini, they have apricot. Lawn Fawn has apricot. Lawn Fawn is permanent dye. This is why I switched over to Lawn Fawn. And I didn't do the big ones. I did the little ones with refills because that was almost the same price as the big pad, but I don't need big ones. They actually all sit in my drawer a lot nicer, and they're stacked up in rows, and then the refills are behind them. I don't have them all yet. I did order $400 and some odd worth, and I'm not even halfway through, maybe a quarter way. It's a very expensive collection, I must say. So when you do your Franklin or Franny, it doesn't matter, because I am going to go do a couple. I'm going to cut out the flowers for her head, import the file, and cut the flowers out. I've already cut all of my bears out. You do not have to cut the legs off if there is a thigh gap, if that makes sense. Let me see if I can find one that doesn't have one. Yeah, here's one. These are the older ones that I did when I used to, when I used the other eyes, but those eyes were a lot harder to get a similar shape to for you guys. If the thigh gap is very thin, you're going to have overlapping up here, which will cause a bulge, and that's why I cut them. But this one, I didn't have to cut them because of the fact of it's wider, so they sit further apart. And out of habit, I did cut them, most of them. I had, not all of them though. They don't overlap, so you don't have to cut them. So when you're looking at your bears, look at how far of a thigh gap they have. And the other thing I explained in my live, because I know not everybody got to see it, is work smarter, not harder. Meaning, if you have 4 standing Franklins and you know that, or Frannies, and you want to use, I pick my favorite pose, and I use that one, and I cut out several of that. So if I have 4 standing bears, I cut out 4, and the only thing that's really going to change is the way that you ink the arms, because and check your arms. So if she's flailing her arms out, of course, instead of them going behind, like her standard pose, his standard pose. I want to say him mostly because Franklin's been around longer than Franny, even though I love Franny. So most of the standard pieces, they're like this, and then they have hands holding something. Then there's some that they're holding something to the side. Let me grab one more arm so I can flip them and show you guys. All right, let's use the other one. And this is what you guys were asking, if you cut out the same bear. So just look at your arms. Your arms is going to be what you basically change the quantity of what you cut out, or you're just going to switch them, cut, the 4 sets, and then switch them on your bears and bag them or whatnot. But there's some that, directionally, they're facing this way, and all it is the arm position. Just switch your arms on your files. That's really the only thing that you're going to have to do. Cut out 4 of them or 6 of them. If there's 6 bears, you can even add extras. That's how I came up with the file that Marjorie Ann created for you guys. I took pieces from other files, and that's more advanced. But I went and took a whole bunch of pieces from different files and resized them to fit my Franklin and Franny. And I could have shared it on my page, but those of you that are new to scrapbooking, it's very time consuming, even for those of us who have been doing it forever. I've been doing it since the SCAL program. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. This is how far back I go. I have several copies in case I ever scratch one. I actually have 2 more in my other cabinet. I've been scrapbooking since this came out. So this was a huge thing with us, and there was a notice on Cricut that if we installed it, it would void and null and void our warranty. That is how long I've been using the programs. So Design Space wasn't that hard for me because I used Surecuts a lot for many years, and it's actually installed on my laptop, and I use it if Design Space goes down or it's updating, maintenance, whatnot. I don't just use Design Space. The thing I do like about the Scal program, which is Surecuts a lot, is you can have several tabs open, and that's actually where the color separating started. So your mats, if you have 10 colors, you can put each color on a mat, versus you have to wait until you create it in make it in Cricut Design Space in order to actually see the colored mats. But in Surecuts a lot, you're allowed to move it around the mat while you have the mat in your hand. You don't have to wait until you click make it. Because now I'm going to give you another secret of mine just because I can. So SVG.com follows me. I have a lot of big sites that follow me, surprisingly. And I had posted this somewhere on their site, and they were in shock and awe. They said, I never thought about that. I have hundreds of mats, guys. If you guys can afford it, this is definitely the way to go. Your mats will last you forever. This is just a little portion that I grabbed. This is not even a quarter of all my mats. All of my papers that I use have their own mat. And some of them are... I have the Cricut Imagine, the HP Cricut Imagine. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It prints your cardstock, your 12 by 12. It'll print the designs on the cartridges on your 12 by 12 cardstock shop. I actually have that. And this is the mat from it. But it's so big and it's in the closet. I can't lift it anymore because of my back and my neck. There's no way. And so I just use those pads. But that machine is 15 years old at least. So that'll tell you how long I've had these mats. And you don't ruin the gum on them. So that's the first little section. Let me grab another one just to show you guys. All right. Here's another section. Every color has its own mat. And I can do this for days, guys. I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of mats. And they're all different. Oh my gosh. This one has to be at least 100 or more. It's heavy. Let me put them back. Okay. Lifting restrictions. That's overrated. And then they're just sitting in the top of one of the carts from Michael's. Oh, I shouldn't have took that many out. Okay, there we go. So if you want to save the gum, and that's just a portion of my mats, guys. If you want to save the gum on your mats, that's what I recommend. And do it slowly. Start just slowly gathering your mats. And I don't know why I can't see. There we go. All right. I just keep looking up for comments, but I don't know if there's a delay or not. So anyhow, if you guys can afford the mats, slowly start getting them. Amazon has them. Temu has them. Hobby Lobby has them. I was a little upset that Hobby Lobby got rid of their Paper Studio mats, and they went with that 4 square. I will... They look the same, but they're a different brand. Here's a Paper Studio. So way back when Paper Studio, they used to do 50% off of Paper Studio every so many weeks. Every 3rd week is the rotating sale. So if you miss the sale at Hobby Lobby 1 week, just wait 3 weeks. That's their rotational sale. They went to Foursquare, which I have some of the mats, but I don't have many of them yet just because I was a little irritated that they did that. So basically, oh, 405, not Foursquare. There it is. This is their new line of name. They don't do 405 cells like they did with the Paper Studio. And I'm pretty sure that it is the same company. I mean, it's identical color. It's just about everything looks the same, even the font. So let's look. Yeah, it just says Hobby Lobby, but one's a 2019, the other. So this will tell you how long I've had these mats. But they're even, yeah, anyhow. You want to definitely up your mats, your mat game. You will go through way less mats because I know some of you guys starting out, because I did the same thing, and I've told you guys, I didn't have YouTube or the resources. I was blind doing this with my mom 20 some odd years ago. And that long ago, we would have a mat and you're like, oh, I've already cut out my brown. Let's rip it off. You peel it back and you... And another thing is, I tape all of my corners. I go to the dollar store and I buy the 4 packs of clear tape because that one sticks better than this one. This one's yuck. Don't do it. The clear has much more adhesive. And my mats that are 15 years old that I still have, I just go in the corners with a glue pen. And that way I go my 4 corners and then I go down my sides where my tape is. And that is how I get the most use out of my pads. But way back when, we would have to peel off because nobody told us about having multiple mats for, you know, each color. We were peeling it off, so we were sometimes even curling our paper, tearing our paper. But every time we peel it off, we're losing the stick on the mat behind it. And if you have a mat designated for one color, so when I'm out of that color, I get up and go over to one of my many 4-foot tall carts or in my dream box, and I pull out that same color because I do mark my pads with the colors. And I just, if it's a sticker, I tape it. If there's no sticker and it's a 25 pack from like 12 by 12 cardstock shop, what I do is I write it on the tape with just a Sharpie. So Mandarin Orange by Encore. That way when I go to replace this color, I know what color goes on my mat. You don't have to do it. I'm not saying that it's a have to, but it will save you money in the long run. 1, you won't be wasting paper by ruining it. And 2, you will not be going through mats as often. I hardly ever get rid of a mat unless it's finally... I had one that cracked on the edge and it wasn't feeding anymore and I threw it out. So back to this fun stuff. This is a 3D printed bottle holder and I love it. I have a couple of them. This is 3D printed also, as you guys know, but anyhow. You don't have to cut the legs down if you have a wider space here. And I don't know why I feel... Let me go out and back into YouTube. Because generally I have questions and I don't see anything in my comments. And I feel bad if I'm missing anything. Give me just a minute, guys. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. No. Okay. So, but it says top. That's why. There we go. I didn't know that I had to change the... This YouTube stuff is sometimes a pain. I didn't know that there was different chat options. So there's top chat and then all messages. Okay, there we go. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. So with the thigh gap, depending on how big of this is, you don't have to cut these down anymore unless you're like me and it's just a habit and that's what you do. And Franklin, there are so many Franklin and Franny files. I just do these and I stay on top of it. As far as when they come out, I'm always looking. I love Franklin and Franny. I told Marjorie Ann, we need a website for just Franklin and Franny. That's it. That's end of story. And in my video yesterday, which I'm going to probably just have to... how did Charity leave me a voicemail? That was quick. She calls me about Pokemon, and I'm like, bro, let me sleep out all night trying to, because when she comes, I can trade her. I don't understand the concept of it, so yeah. But anyhow, she's got me playing Pokemon Go and collecting everything because I guess California has ones that Wisconsin doesn't. So with Franklin, I did go around him with the vintage photo, and we are, because this is one of my darker colors, and I can tell just by looking at it that it's not the Crunchy Leaf, because the Crunchy Leaf I just converted over to the Lawn Fawn. Where did I put it? Oh, it's over here. That's for the peach. This one is a lot lighter, and I'm loving this. I just got my refills for it because I didn't order them, and I don't know how I would. I think this one I was a little scared of because here it looks very dark, but it doesn't dry dark. That's the thing. So definitely swatch all of your inks, guys. That's all I can say. Hold on, let me message my mother real quick. She's gonna... Nope, not. I'm dialing her home number. All right, there we go. I'm writing it out instead of talking. Sorry, guys. Just 1 second. There we go. Okay, it's sent. This one I wasn't sure of, so I ordered the small one, and I did not do the refills until I got it. And the good thing with Lawn Fawn, it's just like Tim Holtz, is they do come very saturated and wet. Because I did get a couple... I did get one pack that they were dry, and I think it was just because they were old. But the majority of them, because I got the 4 packs, where it was like color schemes. One was brown, one was pinks, one was purples, and only one was dried out. And I'm talking so dry that I couldn't even swatch it. It was so dry. I reached out to them, they replaced it, but just depending on how long they've been sitting there and who you order it from. But I got mine from scrapbook.com because I have coupons. And it's like free shipping or $15 off. So I use my coupons. But Franklin and Franny are always going to be done in the same way, guys. It's going to be legs, feet, body, ears, ear pads, head. And if there's a scarf, of course, it's going to go on before the head. And I actually explained that in my video because I've done it more times than not with Franklin having a scarf. I glued his head down, and I had to go back into Cricut Design Space and splice his, the scarf to make it where the head was cut out so I could just nestle it under the head instead of under. Luckily, I know how to do that. But in the snowman, I did show how to rip his head off and actually redo it because my Nuvo drops, I made a mess. You guys can rewatch this because I know the numbers are, fluctuating, and I did start earlier. For those of you who came in a little later, you definitely want to look into these pencils. I use them for my hair and adding dimension. They're blendable. They're all different colors. I just used a darker one so it showed up. And then I did talk about putting him together because I asked for. The video's uploading. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I was just saying that I might have to take it down and re-upload it. And then we talked about cutting out a bunch of bears at one time and just posing them differently, meaning the arms. So with the arms, guys, I look at the poses because that lets me know, ink saving, money saving. If they're tucked behind him, you do not need to ink the whole thing. I only ink right around the edge to about here if it's going to be behind him. And then for the legs, I only ink from about right here down on both sides because this upper part is always hidden. about yay much is not inked, and the bottom's not inked. Yeah, you can tell I have tremors today. I'm sorry, guys. So I definitely look at the files to save my ink, and that's just me because ink is just ridiculously expensive, and there's sometimes you end up messing up your pieces and you've wasted ink. There's no way to avoid it. I've been there, done that, and it's just, it is what it is. I've kind of just given up on trying to preserve all the ink, but I do try to make it go as long as it can by not inking everything. So definitely look at your pieces before you start inking. That way you have an idea of where you need to ink and where not to. And just like the ears, I could probably skip about a quarter of it and be fine because its head's going to cover it. But then with my tremors, sometimes I don't end up gluing it evenly, and I would have the part that's not inked showing. But the arms you can't really mess up because if they're going behind him, you don't have to worry about it. Your pan pastels, that's the next question. This one, I don't use black. It's dark gray. And you can use whatever color you like. You can use black if you can't find the grays or if you don't like it. Here is the black, but this is extra, this is gray extra dark. This one is the same, but that's how they shipped it to me, broken, and I just haven't repacked it. And that's black. So here's the difference. The reason I go with the dark gray around the eyes is because it's a softer look. It doesn't make it so dark. And I just use a tool it's pinned on my Facebook, but they're just false eyelash glue applicators. That's what you look them up under. And I dip into there and I go around as light as possible. Oh no, look what I did. Thank goodness it's erasable, right? I dip into my pan pastel and I go around my eye as soft as I can. I'm trying not to get any more of the little spillage from that one. That's how it was shipped to me from Amazon. It was already broken, so every time I open it, it makes a mess, and I forgot to pack that one. But it's super easy, and it's really your preference if you want to go all the way around, part of the way around. It's really just what you like, and you can soften it with your finger or a Q-tip. And that's the nice thing with the pan pastels. You are packing it into all the grooves with the tool, but you can also soften it just using a Q-tip, and it'll pack it in more, but it'll get rid of a lot of anything that'll smear as well. So I do go over it with a Q-tip sometimes, not all the time if I remember. I try to do it at the end after all my pieces are together. And I just go around it, and then I clean it up with an eraser. And you want to use a white eraser because white erasers don't smear. And that's even for the eyelashes. I did explain doing the eyelashes with a pencil first before going over it with your micron pen. And that will allow you to make sure your eyelashes are on as even as possible, but practice, practice, practice. I get asked all the time about my eyelashes, and honestly, I've been doing them for so long I don't even think about them now, but I also use the stamp. And that's on bad days. Like today I won't be doing eyelashes. If anything, I'll use my stamp and just do my eyelashes with the stamp because I can't even hold my hand steady if I tried today. And I know this. But I wanted just to kind of fill in on the people that missed the live last time and other ones. I just don't know why. I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything because it keeps converting to top chat, guys, and it's making me want to flick it. All right. But that's it. This is Franklin is Franny, whichever one is one of your easier files. And the next thing is don't glue the head down until you do the cheeks. Because for some reason we want to glue it down and then go right over and do the cheeks, but the problem is your paper is wet from your glue at that point. And I've noticed it has a different application if you don't. I do it here before I glue my head down, because if there's a scarf under there, you are going to have every ridge show up through, and then you're also going to cause your paper to warp and fold over that area. So if you're going to put blush on it, you don't have to. If you're going to do it before you glue it down. Don't do it after. You can if you want. Let me rephrase that. It is your preference, not mine. It's whatever you're comfortable with. But I'm just letting you know from me, from personal experience, I went way too far out on those eyes. This is the nice thing about the pan pastel is you can clean it up, because I don't need it going that far out of the eye. But the white erasers, they don't smear, versus your pink ones smear and they leave a residue and a residual. I didn't even get his eye up in there. My tremors are bad today, guys. I'm sorry. I'm probably going to have to give it a little bit longer today. But yeah, I missed the whole mark of the eye. That's why it looked so big that I went around so far. But anyhow, I've got it on my finger somewhere and I touched it. Generally, I would have taken my spoon and set it, but I didn't. And that's fine. I know some people use marker. They use a marker to go around the eyes, and that's fine as long as it's acid and lignin safe and archival scrapbook safe. You don't want anything that's going to fade or end up causing bleeding, but I'm not going to mess with the face today just because my hands are too bad, my shakes. And that's why I'm holding my hand down. So what you'll do is you'll put your blush on, and then this is up to you if you want to put it on now. I usually don't. I put the muzzle on once it's glued down because it does allow me to center it a little bit better with the middle of the body. Especially because then I go and do the line down and put his nose on. I ended up being lazy and not going to the store to get peach or blush for the ears. And I'm waiting on my order to be delivered. So that's why I'm just using the same color as my muzzle. Actually, that's a lighter. This is straw and this is oatmeal. I've been doing it for so long, I can look at it and tell you what the colors are. So I'm not going to glue that muzzle down anyways. Just with my tremors, it's going to be way off. And I don't want to end up wasting Franklin because my hand said, you know, let's do this. So I have some that are darker and some that are lighter. This is straw and this is oatmeal. And I didn't like how light this was with the ears, so I went a notch up on the color. I swatched it with the books, and I went a little bit darker by a shade. And I actually like this fill. It's a warmer fill to it, so it's not so bright. With the pink on the Franklin for the ears, the light one works great, the straw color. But oatmeal actually works. It's it warms him up or her a lot more, and it's not so bright. But yeah, I could tell looking at it that it was a different color. But I'm gonna have to get rid of all of my, I see all my chalk everywhere. If you guys need anything, let me know. I'm gonna go in and find out what's going on with the videos, why they're not uploading and they're taking forever for Mr. Snowman. And I'm gonna finish him later. I know that I'm going to call my mom just to make sure nothing's going on. As you guys know from my last live, I just want to make sure that my family's okay after what we, yeah. I don't know. When my mom calls, I get so scared. She called me at 4 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning about my grandma passing. You know, that was almost 2 years ago here in a month. And I just wasn't prepared for her telling me about my nephew, but, you know, I just want to make sure everybody's okay. So I am going to hop off to call my mother because she's not even texting me back, and she left me a voicemail, which is really not like her. Let me get a couple files cut out, and I might come back to do a live a little bit later today or tomorrow. I had one of you guys, one of my followers, she was having some issues with her Cricut, and she's new to Cricut. And it's one of those of, I'm going to throw my machine away or donate it. And I was like, no. I've been spending the morning with her trying to get her up and running. Oh, thank you, Terry. I have the video. I was explaining that it's just taking forever. I know, Kim. I kept refreshing because I'm like, everybody's just disappeared. I don't see anything. And normally somebody says something. But No, this is uploading, but he's still uploading. I uploaded him. I went to bed at 6 o'clock this morning, and I started to upload at 6 o'clock, well, 5:54 this morning. And I woke up, let's see, I went to bed at 6. I was up at 11:30. I don't sleep a lot of hours. It's just because of my neck. I sleep whenever I can and what I can, but it's generally 3 to 5 hours and I'm up. So I was surprised I got 5.5 today. That's a lot for me. But I woke up and my daughter's like, you have to do a live. Your alarm keeps going off to get up so you can do your YouTube live. And I looked in my snowman. It's still processing. And I'm like, what's going on? So I do have to run to the P.O. box because I got some certified letter. I don't know about what. It's might not even be mine because I seem to, this guy that had the box before us, and I can't see the name on it, I still get his mail, and he gets a lot of nonsense, a lot of court paperwork. So I'm assuming it's his because I don't owe anybody anything for them to send me anything certified. Yeah, everything of ours is paid off except our truck is almost paid off. But I'm just like, I'm not being sued by anybody, and I don't even leave my house. So who's going to sue me? You know, like, come on. But I have been going Pokemon hunting because of my mother. I'm going to have to delete the upload, or what I'll do is I'll upload it again a second time and just see which one comes up first, and then I'll delete the other one if it's still processing. But I explained that I used a string. This is baby yarn, and the other thing I was going to say, baker's twine will work as well, and I explained that in the video. And all I did was fold it the same way that it's folded in the file, just because I liked it. And I made it longer. What I did is I glued it to his hand, I held it down, and I eyeballed where to glue, but that bottom heart, I did not glue all the way to the bottom. I went maybe just a smidge above. That way I could flip it over, pull up the yarn and snip it so it's not at the edge, so there's nothing showing. But one of the girls is having issues with the snowman, and I wanted to do it for her because she's messaged me, and I mean, I just feel super bad that she was struggling because she's like, there's pieces. Well, I did it, and guess what? She's not wrong. There's extra pieces. So if you end up cutting the file out in the meantime while I'm fussing with the, I can't even do a straight line, you guys. Yeah, I'm not going to be scrapbooking much today until my trimmers come. They're horrible today. I don't even know what that line is. It looks like I just went and scribbled. But so if you do the file, you're going to get an extra one of these, and it's not extra like that. So I did talk to Marjorie Ann about this, and I'm not talking about Marjorie Ann, a conversation from 2 years ago. This is because somebody did that. They're like, yeah, I asked her. No, this is Marjorie Ann with the Letters to Santa file. I had extra pieces, and I'm like, what are you doing? You're confusing me. She doesn't make the pieces, guys, so she tries to make it easier for us. So that being said, you can change this and cut it out in white. And you can actually cut the word love out in the red, and then you're going to place it behind, and you don't have to cut out the letters individually if that's the way you go. That was her method of madness. And the same thing for the face. You're going to have an extra head, but I threw it out because I screwed up in the video last night. And I'm like, why do I have 2 heads? I'm so confused. Well, one of them is supposed to get cut out in black so you can put it behind because the eyes and the mouth are cut out in the file. And it's just an option if you don't want to, because the eyes and the mouth actually cut out individually and they cut out in the file. So you can actually put the black head behind it to give you the appearance of them being in a little more, or you can then fill them in with the pieces that come with it like I did. I didn't want the indent. But I was like, why do I have extra pieces? And I had went back to the mailman Letters to Santa, the Franklin and Franny Letters to Santa file. The mailbox had extra pieces, and I was like, you're killing me, Smalls. This is not working for me. She's trying to make things easier, but there's no instructions. So I had to ask. And about the drawing, if any of you guys don't follow us on Facebook, we're doing a giveaway. Next month is going to be with Marjorie Ann, you guys. Same thing. It's $25 gift card to Treasure Box Designs this month, $25 gift card to 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop, plus you get the card that I handmade in one of my videos. And I, fingers crossed that I don't lose it before I have to ship it out, because that's the kind of stuff I do. I put it in such a safe space that I can't find it. And, oh, here it is. I didn't lose it this time. Yay. Man, I tell you, my scatterbrain. Look at how pretty those, they have ruby slippers, but that black cardstock, wow. Okay, yes, this is coming to you guys. And the inside, I will glue down for you guys with double-sided permanent tape. But I will reach out to the winner and see if you guys want me to stamp or not glue it, because maybe you want to cut out a piece, or maybe you don't want this color and you can just do a print and cut or your own stamp in there. So depending on the winner, we'll discuss all that. But this card's coming because it is from Treasure Box Designs if you want to make your own. And yes, he's got little whiskers. I sit there and rub them. I don't know why. I like them. And the last thing before I hop off, guys, because I am going to go take my steroids to see if I can calm my tremors down. Look at this. Can you see this paper, you guys? It's Lawn Fawn Speckled Eggshell. Look at this paper. You guys need to order it. I'm telling you. And I don't normally tell you guys what to do ever, because it's not the type of person I am. This is a have-to for those of you that ordered the file all cooped up from Marjorie Ann Designs with the eggs, or if you do a dinosaur page. This paper is the coolest thing ever. Let me take it out and see if I can get you guys. It was bent when I got it, so I'm a little sad, but I'll get over it, because I don't ever cut anything that big. Like, all of them have that dent, and I was like, really? But I'll just cut a small egg out there, or just the top of an egg. But this paper here, let me see about. No, that doesn't help much. Okay. This is the best paper in the world. Even for other uses. You need off-white, this is it. And it is Lawn Fawn Speckled Eggshell. I've already been using it on my eggs and stuff that I sent to some of you guys that got the dino sets. But I just wanted to show you guys. I wasn't sure I was going to show you until I actually cut it out. It cuts beautifully. One thing about me is I do test a lot of stuff before I share it with you guys. Because if it's not quality, I'm not going to bother. And that's just, I'm very transparent. I will tell you guys, hey, look what I got, but don't get it. This is a must, and it is off-white. It is an eggshell color, but make sure you go over to Facebook and comment on, I did clarify it. So if you comment on 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop and Treasure Box and or mine, you're entered. So either way, you're covered. You do not have to comment on all three. It's just one comment on any of them, and she's going to put everybody's going to be given a number from all three sites. She's going to combine them, give everybody a number, and then the number that's picked from the app. She uses a similar app like I do. It's an RNG app. So if we have 700 entries, we'll have 700 numbers, 700 assigned numbers. And she goes through and it picks the number, and then she goes and looks for the, number that has been assigned to you guys, and then she'll let you guys know. It will be updated in the actual post on Facebook on all three of ours. I'm just gonna do my asterisks with closed, and the winner is congratulations, and you'll get a message from me because I'll need your address where to mail this to. And I cover all of it. You guys don't have to do anything except go comment what your favorite holiday or occasion to scrapbook is. That's it. And I believe followed the three. And they just partnered with me to do it. And I think that's awesome because that gives you guys a chance to win. That's $50 free in supplies plus a card to give you some, oomph to want to do it. And then the other thing, Marjorie Ann's on board on doing it, and I'm sure they're just trying to get more people be, active in scrapbooking, because a lot of people, they don't do it because they're overwhelmed, and I'm so thankful for them. It's just so awesome that they're actually willing to do that stuff with you guys. And I've already done all the work on my cards, so on my pieces, so it's not a problem for me to mail you guys something out just as encouragement so you can see what it looks like when it's finished. Because in this video I did show how to do your little markings, and I'm hoping it's uploading while we're here. I put little ticks with my chalk pencils, and these pencils are great. I marked where it goes. That way when I glue it down, it just goes right up to the line that I've traced. And that's mostly for the new people, because getting it to line up perfectly with your base can be a little overwhelming. So I showed you guys how to do your tick marks. But I am going to hop off. I'm going to call my mom, make sure everything's okay. And I'm going to cut out a couple of my Franny's accessories. That way, either if I do a video or live, depending on my tremors, it's at least ready to go. Because I said I was now going to do a lot more with hubby being gone on training. And then he's going to come home and sleep a few hours when he is back. And he's going to be gone, 18 hours a day again. He doesn't sleep much. So I have nothing but time on my hands while he's gone, and then when he gets home, it's not going to change. So definitely more videos, more lives, anything you guys need. Send me a message if you need a file, because that's how this one got done. Like I said, I explained in the video, they are the same. All three of them are going to be pieced in the same manner. The only difference is the accessories. So the other guy has a top hat, and the other one has earmuffs, and this one has a beanie. But it's all in the same gluing order, so you don't have to worry about it. The only other difference was the snowman, marshmallow snowman in the coffee cup, or the cocoa cup, sorry. I was fighting the cough. He is going to be pieced the same as the Franklin one I did. And if you scroll down, about 1.5 years ago, I did it because I did see it on there. So I'm not going to do him just because I'm probably going to give this away. I don't need him. I'll do a giveaway on my page for you guys. Just that way then, and it's going to be the GVE space AWY. That way I'm not triggering the scammers auto programs to comment that you've won. You guys will get a message from me. And the thing is if you click my icon in my message, then you go to profile, you'll see that there's thousands of followers, thousands of likes. You click the other guy that messages you, the scammers, it'll say 0 likes, 0 followers. And when you click my profile, it'll take you to my page where you can see all my posts, your comments that you're already following. That's how you can tell the real one from all the fake ones. And the only thing is, if you find a fake one, report it or send it to me and I'll report it. And if you're afraid to report me on accident because you're not sure, just send me a message. Hey, they sent me a comment or a message, and I will look at it and go in, because all I have to do is search my page name and I can report it right from there. But there's tons of them out, and this is sad because we can't do anything. We're already having issues with the gift cards now because of the auto programs with them wanting to scam you guys. So don't ever click a link. There's no link. It will be, like I said, an addendum will be done to the original post for you guys. It'll say closed, congratulations to the winner. We'll then message you, but that winner is to email 12x12 Cardstock Shop and then message me. Just because some of you guys' settings are wonky and I can't message you, or you look in your message request and you'll see one from me, Cherie, my personal page, because I can't message you from my Paper Pieces page. And I don't blame you for your settings, guys, because my personal one, I can't receive business messages. And I'm thankful, because it cuts down the spam and all the nonsense. And on my personal page, I have over 7,000 friend requests, and you can only max out at 5. But I don't accept them because I don't get on it much, and I don't post my life on there. Happy memories, things we did. I'm not even sure my scrapbooking on there because that's something completely different than what I do for this. But I am gonna go take an extra dose of steroids to see if I can get my tremors to calm down because they're pretty bad. Call my mom, and I will either see you via video or live tomorrow, and let me fix the snowman video for you guys. Thanks for coming. You can watch this later once it uploads, but I don't know how long it's gonna take, honestly. And I would have done a lot more for you guys today, but like I said, I was up all night long trying to help her get her Cricut up and running. And I got 5 hours of sleep. I woke up and started helping her again. I don't leave anybody high and dry. If I can help, I will. Oh, you're so welcome. And thanks for coming. I just wanted to basically give you guys the insight on the mat, the insight on what color to use on your peach paper for ink. And mats, I mean, I have multiple, which when you rewatch it, I have a mat for every single color of cardstock I use. And then, letting everybody know that I did do this because I had a couple requests for different files, but it's still processing and I don't know what's going on. So I don't know how long the live is going to take to be rewatchable. So you'll just have to check for it again. We went over some of the inks. We pieced a Franny because I showed you guys the new files that I want to do. I will just sit here and cut out later once my tremors die down a little bit. And I just had my injections yesterday, and that's probably why they're so bad today. It's trauma. There's no way to avoid it, but they help me so much so I can do what I do for you guys and help you along the way. We went over the chalk pencils in this video, so if you're just joining, those are going to be the things if you need, and you don't have to watch the whole thing. Trust me. I hit the fast forward button if it's nothing that is important to me that, you know, I saw somebody do something and I just need one thing out of that video. I'll fast forward. I have no shame admitting it. And yes, watching the whole thing helps. So sometimes I will go back and watch it if it's somebody that I follow and, you know, she needs her watch hours. I'll just play it and listen to it while I scrapbook. But if I'm on my phone and I just need something, but these pencils will be your best friend. My mom got them for me. They're General's Pastel Chalk. They have them on Amazon. And on my Facebook is the drawing, the giveaway drawing for the gift cards, and also the pinned post with all the links, and I can add these to it if need be. Just like I said, my mom got them for me for my birthday, and I have a couple packs of them. That's why they don't look wore down, is once they start getting lower, I pull out a new one. That's why some are taller than others. I've hardly used this sanguine color, so it's actually taller than the rest, which is fine, but I just pull new ones out when they start getting down farther because it doesn't give me much to grip on with my hands because I don't have fillings, so it makes it a lot harder. The yellows, you can tell. Yeah, this is the one I used on the hair of the little girl, but that's really all we covered in this one just because I was unprepared with what happened and I had forgot. Otherwise, I would have postponed the live, but she was really in dire need of help, and I don't want anybody not to want a scrapbook because they can't figure something out, whether it's a file or their machine. And Silhouette, I have no idea, but I will find you guys help. If you guys are really having issues, message me. I don't mind spending the time. I don't. And I will Facebook Messenger video chat you. Just don't judge me if I have bedhead because I have very limited use of my left arm and I have no feeling. And sometimes if my daughter's not around, I can't get my flyaways in my hair to lay down because I can't get my left hand up on top of my head without using my right hand to hold it because of what the doctor did. So anyhow, I am going to go call Mama and I will see you all later. Anything, comment, I can read the comments if you need something or have an idea or a question or a favor or a need. And I will accommodate you the best I can, guys. I will see you later. Bye. I gotta lift this out. Why is this is always the hardest part for me because my hands don't work. And the camera, thank you. It does